Hello, hello, welcome back. And today we're talking about how to succeed in life, love, career, and kids, even if you start at a disadvantage, or even if you start behind. And this is some life advice I had gotten from this lady who is the most successful woman I know. And she worked her way up the corporate ladder and ran all the Chase banks in the entire state that she was in. And it was a big state. And she worked at Victoria's Secret for many, 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 many years and worked her way up there. And she had started with having a kid at 17 in high school. And so she was a very young mom and single mom. And yeah, and she still made her life work. And now she is married to the best man, super, super, super successful. Okay, sorry about that. My dad just barged in again. I guess he got into some red ants. I thought today would be a nice quiet day to find a little nice little corner to video in because I thought everyone was sleeping, but no. Oh well, you're gonna hear some weed eating in the background, so sorry about that. Let's see where I was again. Yeah. Okay. So now she's like was super successful in career, raised some great kids, 2 girls, and now she's married to a really, really amazing man, and he's like so super successful. I don't remember if I told you guys that yet or not. He builds homes and what's funny? Oh, and he still gives her butterflies. And I was like, oh, that's what I want, you know? Like, I think that's just so amazing. And what's funny is she didn't even consider him as an option for like decades because he was a little bit younger than she was, which I thought was funny. So that's the thing. The perfect guy can be right in front of you and you won't realize it because you don't even know what you're looking for. So that's why I tell you guys, like, write down the things you're looking for in a guy. So when he's in front of you, you know that, oh, that is what I'm looking for. Or, oh, that is not what I'm looking for, right? So, anyway, so I'm just going to be sharing some of her tips of how to be super successful in life, them distilled down to just a few points, and a couple pieces of random advice. So one of them she gave was, I guess I was acting like, how do you not get pregnant before, married? Like, I guess I was acting like it just like happens or something. And she was like, the way not to get pregnant before you're married is just don't have the act before marriage. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's simple. That's all we have to do, okay? Just wait for marriage. Because otherwise, that can make life so messy. I mean, it's sold as such an amazing thing. You're given so much freedom. You can do whatever you want. You can be with anybody you want. But then as soon as you get pregnant, now you've brought this whole new life into the world and the responsibilities start. But it also goes to show, like she didn't just let that stop her life. She went for it and took it, by the, I don't know what you say, by the neck or by the tail, I don't know. She went and took over the world, So one of the things she kept telling me is that men are made for work and women are made to bear children. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing to be telling me because I was like, you were in the corporate world like this whole time and everything. And yet you keep on telling me this. But she said it so many times, I guess, so that I would understand it. And that there is a difference between men and women. And like for men, they can eat whatever and still be reasonably fit and everything, or they can get older and they won't have saggy skin and certain things. But like a woman is completely different. We change as we get older. And she's like, and then when you get older, you get like, the flabby skin like on your arms and things. Whereas like the guys don't really get that. So it's just like little differences where we are different. And yeah. Anyways, okay, so here is the real pieces of advice. She said, be kind even to gangs. Because she grew up in a really rough neighborhood in the downtown of the city where she lived. And it was really rough. There were gangs everywhere. There was the Mexican gangs, the black gangs, all kinds of gangs. I'm sure there were white gangs and everything too. And she was saying that being friends with them is what saved her life through high school, because she was just nice to them. So then they would tell her that, you know what, tomorrow stay home because, you know, this gang and this gang is going to be going into an all-out fight and you don't want to be caught in the middle of that. And so she was saying that that's what saved her life a lot of times, was just because she was nice to them. And treated them as human beings instead of like being scared of them or that they're beneath her or like fawning on them as if they're like way above her. Like, no, just treat them as your equals. And she was saying another thing, that don't walk on the other side of the road when a gang goes by. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, just nod and say hello as you go by. And I was like, okay, I'm still not sure if I could follow that piece of advice. I mean, she has a lot of guts and confidence. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting piece of advice. And then just be a good person. She's like, that's all she would teach her kids. Just be a good person. Kindness is free. So like that kid at school that's sitting all by himself, the new kid, go and invite him to sit with you or be kind to them. Just don't be mean to anyone, because they could help you someday. And if you're mean to them, then you've just kind of like ruined your chances. And she was saying that if they are mean, just leave it be. Don't be mean back. So that was like the main thing she said she taught her kids. And let's see. Okay, and now the last piece of advice. She was saying that her husband gets so frustrated because he can't find someone with these two qualities to run the business. Because he's like looking for a manager to like run all the huge projects he's on. And I guess people with just these two qualities are really scarce. And she said when she worked up in upper management in Chase, because she barely was a teller for maybe a week, like barely at all. Then she moved into management, and she just kept moving and moving and moving up until she was in charge of all the banks in like the whole state. And she was saying all that is needed to work your way up. And what she did is, 1, being proactive, and 2, time management. That's all you need, and pretty much nobody has that. So that's some advice for you guys. That's all you guys need to do, and you will be above, like head and shoulders above anybody else. And then she said that when she was working, that men would be really inappropriate and say really inappropriate things to her and really nasty things. And I asked, like, how would you respond to them? And she said she'd call them out on it. She'd say, like, shame on you for talking to a woman that way. Don't you dare talk that way to me again, or I will have your job. And they would laugh, like kind of nervous, but she was serious. And she said that that was in her mind and in her energy, and she meant it. She was like, I'll be your boss. See if you still speak to me that way. See if you still speak to me that way then. And that's the kind of mindset you need to have. Super strong, call people out when they are, being bad. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, even when it is scary. And the thing is everyone, like I would see, she recently retired. So like I would see like at the banks, everyone would be all like scared and everything. And I'd be like, what's going on? And they'd be like, oh, she's coming. And I was like, what, you're scared of her? And they were like, yeah. And I guess she was a very, not scary person, but she expected things to be done and done right. And that's how things did get done and got done right, is because she expected it and enforced it. And I think that's how we have to be in our own lives, is expect things to be done right, call people out on it if they're slacking, keep people accountable, see them as capable. Don't be like thinking that you're the only one that's capable and everyone else, you're gonna have to do everybody else's job. Like, no, call them out on it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And and then the last piece of random advice is, she said, they don't tell you how bad menopause is. So if any of you guys are like older, yeah, that's what she said. She said it's like you're losing your mind. And she said all she had heard is that you look forward to it because you lose your cycle and everything, but no. And so anyways, let's either figure out a solution for when that happens, when our time comes, or at least she was saying just remember to extend grace to yourself, because she was like, it'll feel like you're losing your mind. And I was like, okay, well, good to know. Yeah, I thought that was funny. And then this is the last thing I'll say, which is about when she worked at Victoria's Secret. And that goes into the other video I made of. I went to Victoria's Secret with her because she has so much knowledge on it. And I had asked her, like, how do all the models like stay so skinny, like their stomachs are like so flat? Because I was like, I'm decently slim, but like when I eat, my stomach, if I eat like too much or eat the wrong thing, like my stomach like will poke out instead of just being perfectly flat. And she was like, yeah, I would go to dinners with the models because that's what they would do when they would work there and everything. And she's like, the models would hardly like just pick at a salad. She's like, they don't eat. They are super unhealthy. So don't try to be like them. And I was like, okay, that is some really good advice, because, otherwise we're just comparing ourselves to this unrealistic ideal, and they are super unhealthy. They don't even get their cycles because they have such low body fat, and their body, like their hormones are all like messed up, and they're unhappy, and like all of these things, and we don't want that, right? And the other thing is, I'm not telling you guys not to be slim or take care of yourselves or anything. Like I mentioned this in that other video that you guys can check out. Because she is super slim and she's in her late 50s. She's almost 60. And she keeps herself very good and toned, and she exercises and everything. So we're not saying don't be slim, but just don't be trying to compare yourself to this ideal that isn't even an ideal, because it's not even real. You're comparing yourself to an airbrushed picture of a model who doesn't even look like that in real life. And what they do look like in real life is already super unhealthy, and they just don't eat. And it's important to eat, or else you will get very, very, very sick, and you're going to be keeping your body from nutrients and all kinds of things, which can make you extremely sick and land you in the hospital, okay? So this is all stuff I needed to know when I was younger, so that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. I hope it helps, If it helps one of you guys, then it's worth it. And what is the quote that says, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, a smart man learns from his own, and a foolish man never learns, right? So let's be the wise man or the wise woman. And if you want to go deeper into any of this, into building your confidence, becoming your own dream girl, embodying more of these grounded, confident qualities, then check out my course, Divinely Favored, which is down below. It is absolutely life-changing. And get your free play sheet, which is down below. Definitely check it out. All you have to give is like your email, and you get this amazing little bundle. And that completely shifted my life when I was younger, and is all the things I did to become who I am today, instead of being that super insecure, shy girl that I used to be. And yeah, comment down below your takeaways, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at I Am Vibrant Elegance, and I'll see you next time. Bye.